I'm David Korins. I'm the set designer for Misery. I was so excited to get the call to do Misery. I've been working with the creative team for many, many, many years, and the director's a dear friend of mine, and can you imagine getting a phone call to do Misery? It was an incredible call. You know, the show starts with Paul Sheldon having been rescued from a crazy and near-death car crash. And we wanted to, with the design of the show, make the house feel like it was a kind of warm and welcoming place, and that although Annie, the main character that saves Paul from the crash, doesn't have a lot of money, it's a well-kept, kind of beautifully appointed place. Of course, over the course of the story, we learn that Annie's a little bit off-center in her thinking, and the set kind of evolves dramaturgically and with details to show you that Annie's a little bit lost her mind. We start actually outside. We wanted to give a sense of Colorado in the deep dead of winter. We start with a no show curtain or anything keeping the audience from looking at the set. We actually want them to kind of sink into this snowstorm lull at the top of the show. And then we rotate around, it's a turntable show, we rotate around into the main room where we spend about 95% of the show. And one of the cool things about seeing the rest of the house is we get to show it in a couple of different ways. First time we see it, it is Mrs. Cleaver clean, perfectly appointed, spit spot. And the second and third time we see it, we get to change some of the details. We get to change and show how Annie is a little bit losing her tether to reality. Here's the room that Annie puts Paul when she rescues him from the car crash. But this is the room where most of the show takes place. And you know, we add Paul's writing table the second half of the show. When he gets out and he comes around and leaves that door, we actually get an opportunity to see the foyer. He sees a lot of dressing here. There's a lot of photographs on this wall. This model is not showing all the specific detail, but it's giving you a sense of shape. We have this really fun moment where actually the audience, it passes by their frame. They kind of like go straight through the wall and into down the mud room. He checks the stairs. He can't, of course, go up the stairs in his wheelchair, and he continues on into the kitchen, where it's, again, a fully dressed, fully realistic kitchen. And here's the exterior of the home. One of the cool things about the exterior is, at the top of the show, we see it, and it's completely covered with snow. As Paul stays in the house longer, we spend many months there, we see it thaw every time we come, and we start seeing flowers being planted, and the snow and the icicles leave and melt away. It's a lovely little environment, all nicely squished into this tiny little circle. It's such a cool thing to be able to work on a show and create an environment, first from within, and then to collaborate with performers and talk to them about how they want to develop their characters and what this space would look like. Laurie Metcalf is a really incredible collaborator, and I kind of roughed in the space and then told her from very early on in the process, I want your opinion, I want your feedback, what would Annie have? So I kind of gave her a blueprint, and then she was able to work with me, and we talked a lot about that. And so it's a really exciting way to be able to kind of create Annie's interior space in her mind, and then her literal interior space with the scenery. We really thought we should never let the pressure out of the room, and we should never let the audience off the hook. So what we decided to do was kind of render each space as realistically as possible, including ceilings, including all the walls and all the details. Misery was such a popular novel and such a popular movie, we had to really think about why make it into a piece of theater. It's such a visceral, pressure cooker, thrill ride that it would be incredible, and it is incredible, to see two actors go head to head in this tiny claustrophobic room. It's rare in the theater to get a really scary thing to happen and a really thrilling and eerie thing to happen, and we do it over and over and over again in that show, and it's kind of rare and exciting.